Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com. Thanks for taking the time to view this video. We're going to take a look at some of the stocks that were in play today. Okay, there were several stocks that had nice days and had a nice day today, and MYO was one of them. It closed up 108%, so congrats to everyone that caught this. It is currently above 70 on RSI. It's at overbought levels. It hit 80 on Fasto and pulled back. You know, you've got this parabolic spike on plus DI with the bullish crossovers here. And then, yeah, the big move today was the gap up open above the 50-day simple moving average. That's the green line here at 529. That is the key level to hold and turn into support on a pullback. And then it closed today above the 100-day simple moving average at 755 and September high close resistance. So that's a key level to turn into support. If it can stay above that level, the next key level to break is over here in July, the 10 zone. This was a big support level back in July, and then once it finally broke, the share price dropped. And so if it can close above this 10 zone, then it could possibly run back up here to 13. What it looks like is MYO is filling the jar back up to this 1920 level, which was the high close from the start of trading. This has only been trading since June. So yeah, so it's in the process of doing what we call filling the jar. The one red flag on the chart is the gap below between high of day yesterday and low of day today. So in order to fill the gap, it would need to drop down to EMA 8 at 471. Okay, so there was a big volume spike today, and a parabolic spike on both MACD and MACD 1226 and 9 and the 813 and 5. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at RIOT. This is the Riot blockchain, and so it had pulled back below the middle Bollinger Band, and now it's made a move back above the middle Bollinger Band. So that was exactly what we wanted to see. So you can see back here, it broke down on what day was this? This was back on the 25th. It closed below EMA's 4, 8, and 13 in the middle Bollinger Band. So it started a little downtrend here. And then yesterday it had a nice close above those EMAs there, at EMA's 4, 8, and 13. And then it closed right above the middle Bollinger Band. So we were looking for that level to, another close above that level, and for that level to turn into support. And so today, the second close above that level in a row is signaling a possible start of a new uptrend. And so the key level to break is going to be this closing price on the 23rd. If it can close above that level, that should signal that it wants to break out higher. And then the big level is going to break is going to be up here at $10. So 10 will be the next target if it can get above the October 23rd closing price. And yeah, this has got a nice uptrend going. It's got the PSAR bull flip, and then notice it's RSI and Fasto are both in the bull zone. They're both between 50 and 80 and 50 and 70, and they both have room to run until overbought levels. And if you look back here on prior run, RSI ran all the way up to 90, and it stayed above 70 for an extended period of time during this last big run. So this could be the start of another push higher. We'll see if it closes back below the middle Bollinger Band. That'll signal more consolidation and making it a risk to hold long term. So yeah, it's got to stay back above that middle Bollinger Band to be a good play. So far, yeah, looking good. Congrats, everyone. Okay, let's look at PRELF. This is the Hive blockchain, and yeah, just to let you know, they are going to be releasing shares here. Yeah, you have to read up about that. They're saying they want to provide liquidity. So we'll have to see how that plays on the share price. Right now, they sped up the time. It was supposed to be another week from now, but apparently they're doing it possibly tomorrow, or I'm not sure about the dates. You gotta read up on that. But the bottom line is it's got this super nice uptrend going. It's a blockchain play. We're gonna see how how this plays out with the new shares coming to market. The whole key here is going to be this middle Bollinger Band. It's currently at 271. The data purple line. If it closes below that level, that's going to be the big red flag. It's been holding this ascending support line in this really tight channel. It's right now at the bottom of the channel. It needs to stay above that level. If it closes below that in the middle Bollinger Band, then you can see a drop down here to the 50-day simple moving average at 160. To the upside, on Friday, it hit the top of the channel here. It's got to break back above the 460 $5 level in order to break out higher. And so if you do see a pullback, it's going to be real important that the middle Bollinger Band holds. You can see it drop down to that 50-day simple moving average, and then you've got, if that 50-day simple moving average broke, then you would have the 100-day simple moving average lining up with the lows down here. So we just have to see how it plays out with the new shares coming to market. But yeah, there's been a big volume behind this play. It's got a nice uptrend, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. And then take a look at GALT. Okay, so this stock is it made the radar today because it closed back above the middle Bollinger Band. It's got RSI and Fasto both in the bull zone. It's got crossovers starting here on ADX. It already plus DI already crossed above minus DI. So this has been in a sideways channel here, and so now it's in the middle of the channel. It's back above the middle Bollinger Band. The key level to break is the closing price on October 10th. If it can close above that level, that's going to be the signal that it wants to head higher. If it closes back below the middle Bollinger Band, that'll signal more consolidation. Down here you've got a convergence of moving averages, the 50, the 200, and the 100-day simple moving averages. Those are big support levels. It'd be a major red flag if they broke on a pullback. So yeah, so this is really just a good setup if it can stay above that middle Bollinger Band at 252. It had the volume spike today. It's got the bullish crossover trying to start here on the 8, 13, and 5. And then if you look at the GALT weekly chart, you can see here it has an uptrend going on the weekly chart. On the first week of October, it closed above the middle Bollinger Band. Candles have been forming above that level. It's back now above EMA 4. This week's candle will not set until the closing bell on Friday. So the candle here on the what is that, the third week of October, or that is the price to break. It's currently just below 270. If you can get a weekly close above this red line, that's going to signal more upside potential. And then the big level is back here in April, the April high close. That's around 320, just below 320. A close above that for the week would be a signal that it wants to break out higher. It looks like it's working its way back up to that level, so that the 320 is the target if it can break above the 260 to 270, the 270 resistance zone. So yeah, it has recent bullish crossovers on MACD, and yeah, and it bounced off of the 150-week moving averages. So yeah, so keep an eye on it. Yeah, and you can't see it on the chart here, but the 200-week moving average is up here at 399, and the 300-week moving average is at 415. Okay, let's look at CMLS. Okay, so yeah, this stock is at heating up. Just keep an eye on it. It needs to get back above 50 on RSI. Fasto had a crossover here. So this is currently in a downtrend. It had this big volume spike. It had a big volume spike. They pulled the share price all the way back, but below levels where the run started, which nobody likes to see that. But we're keeping an eye on it here to see if it can break above this channel. Notice it got back in this long downtrending channel. It's at the top of the channel, which is lined up with the EMA 4 at 33. So if it can get above this green line here at 35, that could be a signal that it wants to make another little run. So keep an eye on it. Sometimes it gets moving. If it can get above the 100 simple moving average at 39, it might make a try back up to that 200-day simple moving average at 47. Keep in mind, below 35, if the share price is trading below 35, it will be a risk to hold. It needs to break above that level to be a signal that it wants to possibly try to get a new uptrend going. Okay, so keep an eye on it. Let's look at ITUS. Okay, so this stock is in the bull zone here on RSI. It's at 59. You've got Fasto at 93. The big move here is the break above the middle Bollinger Band. You can see here it closed today above the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 247. It's on a multi-day run already. It's on a 4-day run. It looks like it's breaking out of a falling wedge pattern. So if you can see here, the candles were forming a falling wedge pattern, and then it broke above the descending resistance line. And so that close above that level is signaling that it possibly wants to break out higher. Now it's headed right up here to the big level to break, which is the 300-day simple moving average at 305. It needs to close above that, and then right above it is the upper Bollinger Band at 336, and then the high close level in October here on the 12th. If it can get above both of those levels, then it could possibly run back up to 5 up here on the September 26th closing price. If it fails to break, the 300-day simple moving average, or struggles with this October high close in the upper Bollinger Band, it could consolidate. It has to stay above the middle Bollinger Band now to be a good play. If it drops below that 250 support zone, that's going to signal more consolidation and make it a risk to hold. So keep an eye on it. It has a recent MACD bullish crossover starting here, so that and a recent PSAR bull flip. Notice that it's the first time the green dots are below the candles since the start of the pullback. So the chart's heating up. It bounced off the 50-day simple moving average. We'll just see if it can get through that 300-day simple moving average and keep heading higher. Okay, let's take a look at DXTR. Okay, so notice it is in the bull zone on both RSI and FASTO, so there is room to run until overbought levels. You know, this is the first time RSI has been above the 50 level since back here on the 25th of September. So the chart is heating up. It needs to stay above that level in order to signal that the chart is strong. If it pulls back below 50, that'll be a red flag. It's got a bullish crossover going on 80x down here. Notice the green line's crossing the red and the black line to the upside, so that's a good sign that the bulls are heating up. This has been in a pretty nasty downtrend here since middle Bollinger Band support broke back here on the second week of September, and so the candles have been pulling back. There hadn't been a close. There was a close above the middle Bollinger Band on the 25th, but it failed to hold the middle Bollinger Band, which is the dotted purple line here, and it continued lower, and then it tried to break above that level again here in October, failed to do so, never closed above the middle Bollinger Band, and then finally yesterday there was a close above that level. So that was a signal that the chart was heating up. It was a bullish change in trend, and so when that happens, you want to see if it can break this previous trend. The last time it closed above the middle Bollinger Band, a red candle formed, and that signaled more downside risk. So what we look for in this situation is another white candle forming. That would signal a bullish change in trend and a possible start of a new uptrend. So notice how this has got the white. This has the white candle followed by another white candle. So that's signaling more upside, as opposed to here when the red candle formed, that was signaling downside risk. Just for future reference, this is what you want to see at the start of a possible new uptrend. Now, the only way this is going to remain in play is if it holds the middle Bollinger Band at 0.195. If it closes below that level, it'll no longer be in play. As you can see here, when it gets below the middle Bollinger Band, it's a major risk to hold. So that's the bottom. That's the stop loss level. To the upside, it needs to get above the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. Those are the targets, basically between 25 and 27. Above 27, it could really get moving. You've got 32 and 36 up here as big levels. It's this closing price back here, and the end of August is the huge level to break up here at about 35.5. Okay, so keep an eye on DXTR, and then one more to take a look at, BPMX. Okay, so this is a dead cat bounce play, so take a look at it down here. It's got the classic dead cat bounce thing going. You've got the gap down. So there's a gap down over here, so there's a space between this chart, between low of day and this candle and high of day and this candle, and then the candle started riding EMA4 resistance lower. The classic pullback. You're loving it if you shorted right here, and you're making money on the way down, but you're just hating it if you're long. And when this is happening, you're looking for a break above EMA4, and that finally happened today. And so it closed above EMAs 4, 8, and 13. That was very bullish, and it's signaling more upside potential. So it looks like it should test the middle Bollinger Band at 23 tomorrow. If it can get above that level and close above that level, it might run up here and test the bottom of the gap and the 50-day simple moving average at 27. Those would be the targets. Many times when a stock can get back above EMA 4 after a gap down and then a pullback, it will work its way back up to the bottom of the gap where it finds resistance. And so we'll see, it's a pretty big move. It would have to make a pretty big move to get back up to the bottom of this gap, but we'll see if it can get past this middle Bollinger Band. That would be the clue. If it breaks above 23, then 27 becomes the target. If it fails to break 23, then it really has to hold this 20 level. If it closes back below EMAs 4 and 8 at 19, then once again, you do not want to be holding. It will be a risk to hold. Anytime you hold a penny stock that is forming candles below EMA 4 on the daily chart, it's a risk to hold overnight. Okay, so thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.